Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, aka podcast. I'm doing both at the same time. Um, my topic today would be the rules of monsters create monsters. And I don't like to say or call people monsters, but at the same time, they're condemning people that do not confine or abide by the social norms or rules imposed upon the majority. So, of course, they're going to be labeled as monsters because they're trying to shape a narrative, which ultimately, or they trying to reshape the way you think, the way your morals are, versus what your nature deep inside yourself is telling you. And it takes people to be brave enough to be themselves or to fight the quote unquote order, um, to show that there's nothing wrong with who they are, there's nothing wrong with anyone as they are naturally, versus choosing to be choosing to conform in a box that was created for you to be by their standards of what it is to be a productive, responsible citizen or person in a society. Now, I made a song. It's called Break the System. And I just made it known because of Oppress, Repress. And they both touches base on sensitive topics, one being sex and children, and the association to the act of sex and just the act of human interaction. Um, they want to place so much fear and layers of complex constructs upon you to where you have so too many moments of self conflict, and that's running away from your nature of things. We all do it. I do it too. And I couldn't indulge in a lot of different stuff, even now, as far as, just anything with multiple people, sex involving multiple people. But I choose not to because I have to concentrate on getting this word out. This mission is a sacrifice I'm taking to be able to be in a proper place to do it and to bring awareness that to these people who's thinking they have the right answers or the morals, their morals are better, and it's not when you're creating monsters all for the sake of creating a world where you think is right, and you're not respecting how other people are feeling or thinking or want to do, regardless of their age, because in the end we all having a human experience in this realm. All spiritual beings having a human experience. For you to say you have the right to dictate what a child wants when they know that nature, who they are, you're going against their birthright, and it's not right. Okay? And they like to try to use these fears to try to scare you from the truth and scare you from your true nature of yourself. Now, I saw a post about on another social app explaining more of the Subway guy's Jared events that unfolded with landing him into jail, and one that those being giving unconsensual or basically he was involved with voyeurism and child pornography, and basically violating people's rights or consent to being viewed um, in their own rooms. Children being, when they in their rooms and having, sexual acts among themselves or peers or an adult or whatever happened. I don't know all the details, but basically he was violating and having videos of children in the nude or in sexual acts. Okay, so it they do these things or they push these type of narratives to whether they're true or not, but they do it to scare you or to redirect how you view things in the world. But you have to really dig deep and reevaluate what's been going on. Why is it happening? The problem isn't Jared. Okay, the problem is the rules. A society that tries to oppress how you really feel, and all that repression spills over, and what you do is you do radical things in order to act on that desire. And I'm not saying it's solely just him who feels that way. The children feel that way. I felt that when I know this because when I was a child, I had fluctuations and desires for adults, men in particular. Growing up, when I was touched myself, I knew that it was from a place of desperation. And my initial thought was I enjoyed it. It's an act of expression, an act of desire and learning and exploration. It's like getting a massage. And people have defiled it and demonized it so much that so many people are just afraid of ever acting on it. So this stems into people acting out in radical ways just to get a glimpse of realness, a glimpse of who they really are. So they go about any lengths just to act on what they really desire. That's ultimately what it is. So I ask again, who is the real monster? Is it society, norms, religious, oppressive type of teachings? Or was it really molesters or pedophiles? Is it? I think it's the rules of the people, more or less. Yes, everybody have responsibility and accountability, but you got to understand what's being done in the dark. What is deep, deep in the dark to know what the truth really is. And that is, they don't want you living in your true truth. They want to confine you. And this is what leads to those outlandish acts. The sex trafficking, the raping, you name it. It occurs because people aren't, or they don't feel that they can live in their nature, in themselves, and to find love and to act in a place where they can feel fulfilled as well. So they live in repression for so long until something boils over. So when the first opportunity that arises where they can actually be themselves, they take they become overly excited to do it. So they're not in a proper mind to do it where it's still healthy, and they're not doing it in shame. When they do this type of stuff, they're it's like an overdrive of senses and pleasure and just the excitement of being who they are. And it goes for the children too, who sneak around with these adults or who who encounters abruptly feeling these from an adult, just the touching or whatever, and it's simply arousing. It's not hurting. When it happened to me, it happens in any kind of given way. Playing, wrestling, you name it. It happens. And when it happens, it's like a revelation. That's what it was for me. It wasn't it wasn't initially hurtful. What brought on that hurt was the seeds they planted to make you doubt and to make you and to place boundaries that you should be placing upon yourself because that's the quote unquote right way to live your life. That's the right thing to do. Don't let nobody touch you. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be gay because it's an abomination. Stuff like that. And that causes the self conflict. That causes that self hate. That causes a person to live in a box, confined and scared of themselves. That's what they ultimately want you to do, to constantly run away from yourself. Run away from what you really desire or what you're really curious about. There's nothing wrong with a child being curious with their sexuality or sex with their peers or an adult. Nothing wrong with it. And I feel like they fabricate certain stories or exaggerate certain stories to make these men and women out to being monsters when they're really not. They're just acting in their desire. So they use certain words, the emphasis on certain words, to make people afraid to speak out and to say something about this and to really look deeper into the situation and to evaluate the whole truth rather than getting partials. So they omit stuff out to make you take the side of them, of the persecutors, to make you think that what they're doing is right when in turn it's not. This is ultimately creating more division among the human nature and the human interaction. They're making it so traumatic to where you don't even want to be a human anymore. You don't even want to live here. You you're being so reshaped to where you're become so dependent on someone else dictating to you your moral code or how you're supposed to conduct yourself when you already know how to conduct yourself from your birthright, from your own natural right. Your moral code is already embedded in you. And it's time for mankind to take their power back. Okay? That is what I'm saying. I have another song, VR, virtual reality. That is what they're trying to plan to do to everyone next. That's why the advancements of society, the technological advancements are happening so rapidly. To keep people in the division and in boxes, and to depend on technology to give them and to uh, give them the privilege to act in their desires in a more structured and controlling way. But how long will that virtual reality or that sense of escape gonna satiate that thirst? Because they're gonna try to cater to everyone's dark secret desires through technology. Technology is trying to be They're trying to use technology as a form of a God, a catalyst of God in itself, to govern every aspect of your life, to where you gotta come to it to order to live a free, real life. But it's still fabricated. So there's nothing free about it. What's free is you acknowledging what's actually factual, your actual nature. I said what I said. And it's getting Very scary how they're trying to eradicate every part of you that is human. It's it's saddening how they're wanting to play God. And even in Christianity, they say their religion itself, it's it's exposing who some of these people really think they are through that book. Because you can see the outlandish cruelness of quote unquote this heavenly God, heavenly Father, which is I say it's heavenly blood Father. Uh, how he doesn't want you to, every time you decide to live, or every time the body of people live in their nature, truth, and just happy, idolizing other things themselves, it becomes a problem. Now you're unclean, you filthy, and I need to eradicate you and start over because I'm not getting all the glory. I'm not getting your energy like I want because there people are living in their nature, their true truth. Why do you think in Genesis it happened from the beginning where they ate that fruit of knowledge and they gained full perspective of their being rather than being contained in a safe little box by God in Eden? That's why he kicked them out, because you're not good enough now. You know the truth, and now I'm going to have you to suffer. Is that really a sign of a holy, benevolent being? You kick your child out for making a mistake? But really, in a sense, it's not a mistake. It's the realization of your power as an eternal being. That is what Jesus had wanted for us. And they say that the Satan, Lucifer, whatever, that tempted Eve into the fruit, that they're evil. No, I feel like they were fighting for the same reason with Jesus, to liberate the people and to inform them. Some even say that Satan and Lucifer are not the same. It's just so much mystery in that religion that I don't like to try to. I do like to talk about, but to an extent. I like to leave it as just references because the same stuff is kind of occurring, whether you want to acknowledge or not. It's occurring. That's why all these different anomalies are coming about. Nature itself, Father Nature, Mother Nature, is enraged. It's enraged with the people, enraged with mankind, trying to control the human nature of people. So it lashing out. The monkeypox, the COVID-19, animals attacking humans. I'm saying fish is gonna be attacking humans next, and you gotta, and it's a good thing. It needs to happen. Why? Because to get the point across, free the people, free the children, free the men, free the women. If you don't like that, if you don't wouldn't go on that route, don't go. Don't do it. But you need to respect another person's other people's differences of how they express themselves and how they love one another. Then you will have a more flourishing society. Because why would people want to act radically when they are already feeling fulfilled and happy? A happy person in love and compassion is not going to go out there and hurt and kill anyone or rape anyone. It just doesn't sound right. People say that what if they get their sensations and happiness from forcing other for the whatever, but you got to deeper than that to know that there's a reason why they're acting in that fashion. Something has happened to them where they haven't healed themselves. They haven't come to terms with a certain event. So it manifests into something of that radical action, that negative. They haven't come to terms with something. Something they're projecting that pain in that fashion onto others. Society, the rules are the main reasons as to why all of this wild stuff is going on. And when people learn to step back and allow people to live in their nature, that's when stuff going to balance out back again to where it's a proper way in harmony with everyone and with nature. I can keep talking, but I'm already done 20 minutes. I think I said what I need to say. Continue to listen to my music, my work, my art. I'm putting out as much awareness as I possibly can while I'm in a position to do so. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for listening. And you all have a great day or night.